Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. Today's video is going to be a continuation of the Prestige class videos. We are in the Draconomicon. We are going to look at the final Prestige class for the regular characters, and that is the Talon of Tiamat. I'll go over the requirements for the class first, let you know if there's any changes I'd make for Pathfinder, because there are a few differences on how skill ranks worked in 3rd edition versus Pathfinder. We'll look at the table of stuff, his base attack bonus, saves, what specials he gets, and whatnot, and then we'll dive into the actual descriptions of those specials after that. So, without further ado, let's look at the Prestige class. To qualify to become a Talon of Tiamat, your alignment needs to be any evil. You have to have a base attack bonus of +4 before you can even take level in this Prestige class. You have to have the feat Dragon Thrall, which is in this book. If you want to look up that feat, just search it on the web. Skills: Bluff 4 ranks, Intimidate 4 ranks, Knowledge Arcana 4 ranks. Languages: you have to have the Draconic language. So with all those criteria to be one of these, they all fit within what would be normal for a Pathfinder character. Usually there's a rank difference between Prestige classes for a Pathfinder character to jump into. Because at 1st level in 3rd edition, you get 3 plus your 1st level in ranks that you can have maxed out in a skill, where in Pathfinder you get 1 rank in that skill at 1st level and a +3 miscellaneous bonus. So, with that, the hit dice of this Prestige class is a D8. So every time you gain a level, you get to roll a D8 in this Prestige class. Weapon and armor proficiency, a Talon of Tiamat is proficient with all simple and martial weapons, with all types of armor, and with shields. Okay, now let's look at the table. The Talon of Tiamat's base attack bonus starts at +0 at 1st level and will end at a +7. So what that's telling me is that it's a cleric or a rogue's base attack bonus. The best save for this Prestige class is Fortitude, which will start at +2. At 10th level in the Prestige class, it'll be a +7. Its reflex and will saves are +0 at 1st level and will end at a +3. Okay. This Prestige class, you'll gain +1 level of existing spellcasting class every even level of this class. So how that works is, say you have a level of wizard before you enter this class. Say you're a level 1 wizard. Okay, if you gain all 10 levels of this Prestige class, you'll be considered a level 6 wizard when you look at what spells you can cast per day and what spells you would know if you were a sorcerer. But so if you were a 1st level sorcerer entering that would determine that. But you don't gain any other class benefits under the class specials or the class hit dice or whatever. So if you would max out that spellcasting class afterwards, if that's the only class you needed to get into this was the spellcasting class, then you would be 15th level caster at 20th level. Okay, so you start at 1st level with Breath Weapon, Cone of Cold. At 2nd level, you get Voice of the Dragon +2. At 3rd level, you get Breath Weapon, Line of Acid. At 4th level, you get Keen Senses. At 5th level, you get Breath Weapon, Cone of Corrosive Gas. At 6th level, you get Immunities and Voice of the Dragon +4. At 7th level, you get Breath Weapon, Line of Lightning. At 8th level, you get Keen Senses and Frightful Presence. At 9th level, you get Breath Weapon, Cone of Fire. At 10th level, you get Dominate Dragon and Voice of the Dragons +6. So, a lot of those are very interesting. So let's dive into how the Breath Weapon works and all the other abilities. So, Breath Weapon. At 1st level, the Talon of Tiamat gains the ability to breathe out a cone of frost. Size of the code corresponds to the size of the character. That deals 3d6 points of cold damage. As the Talon gains level, additional versions of his breath weapon becomes available to him. At 3rd level, the Talon can breathe a line of acid, dealing 8d4 acid damage. At 5th level, he can breathe a cone of corrosive gas, dealing 10d6 acid damage. At 7th level, he can expel a line of lightning, dealing 2d8 electrical damage. Not 2d8, 12d8 electrical damage. At 9th level, he can breathe a cone of fire, dealing 14d8 fire damage. Well, the first thing I would do is I would change all your previous ones to be the same amount of dice as you go up in level. So where you start with the cone of cold doing 3d6, when you get the line of acid doing 8d4, I would move the cone of cold up to 8d6 as well. And I just do that with each breath weapon you add would change the amount of dice that all your breath weapon do. So they all do the same dice. They'll have different shapes. There'll be different effects. Okay, let's read the last bit here. In each case, a successful reflex save has the damage dealt. The DC for the saves against the Talon's breath weapon is 10 plus the Talon class level plus con modifier. A Talon Tiamat can use each of his breath weapons once per day. Once a Talon uses any of his breath weapons, he can't use any other breath weapon until 1d4 rounds have passed. That same limit is built into the dragons in 3rd edition and in Pathfinder, so that doesn't really change. But in the Draconomicon, you can take a feat called Quicken Breath Weapon or Quicken Breath Weapon Recovery, something like that, and it'll reduce the amount of rounds you need to wait to recover it. That said, I might increase the amount of uses you get out of your breath weapon. Say you could use each breath weapon equal to your Constitution bonus by 10th level. So at that point you could cast, say you had a con score of +2, you could do your cone of cold twice. And then you could do your line of acid twice. Because the amount of damage it's dealing, the area of effect isn't crazy. And it would be no different than having a fully powerful spellcaster of that level fighting amongst you. So now let's look at Voice of the Dragon. At 2nd level, the Talon Tiamat gains +2 bonus to bluff and intimidate checks. This bonus increases by +2 every 4 levels thereafter. So +4 at 6th level and +6 at 10th level. Keen Senses. A Talon Tiamat gains low light vision at 4th level. He gains dark vision out to 60 feet at 8th level. So that right there can be very useful, especially if you don't have any of those. Immunities. At 6th level, a Talon Tiamat gains immunity to magic sleep and paralysis effects. In addition, he gains immunity to one of the following forms of energy at his option: acid, cold, electric, or fire. Once the energy immunity is selected, the decision may never be changed. So essentially you'll pick one and that's it. But that's no different than if you were a half dragon. You would have one energy you're immune to. The difference is the Talon of Tiamat worships Tiamat, which has the hydra-headed dragons that are different colors. So from there you go to Frightful Presence. At 8th level, the Talon Tiamat can unsettle foes with his mere presence. The Talon of Tiamat can activate his Frightful Presence as a free action. Creatures within a radius of 30 feet per point of Charisma modifier, minimum 30 feet, are subject to the effect if they have fewer hit dice than the Talon of Tiamat. Dragons are immune to this effect. I just read the Platinum Knight, and the Platinum Knight is considered a dragon when using the immune to Frightful Presence. So the Talon of Tiamat is a great counter to this class. So this would be the anti-paladin to the paladin type deal. A potentially affected creature that succeeds a will save DC 10 plus class level plus charisma modifier remains immune to the Talon's Frightful Presence for 24 hours. On a failure, the creature with 4 or fewer hit dice becomes panicked for 2d6 rounds, and those with 5 or more hit dice become shaken for 2d6 rounds. And then you get Dominate Dragon. At 10th level, the Talon of Tiamat can attempt to dominate any dragon as Dominate Monster, but it only applies to dragons. Once per day, the target may attempt a will save to negate the effect, DC 10, plus the Talon class levels, plus Talon's Charisma modifier. So those are the abilities. Other than making the breath weapon more, like changing the damage up on the breath weapon as you gain levels in this class, and making the breath weapon more available per day, those would be the only changes I would do to this class. You're already getting all these cool effects, and then you're getting a bonus to your existing spellcasting class spell slots and spells per day. So with that said, it's a pretty good prestige class. If you've seen anyone play a Talon of Tiamat, or if this Talon of Tiamat interests you, let me know. That'll end the prestige classes for the Draconomicon for now. Next time we come back to it, we'll be looking at dragon prestige classes, which probably won't happen till, I'm thinking, fall. Until then, we'll dive into other prestige classes and other books. Until we all game again, guys.